Dear Emery, I have the star of the show. My 10-year-old daughter Emery is actually joining me. I'm sure, Emery, when you watch these videos in about 5 to 10 years, you're going to enjoy looking back on this. We have been in this brand new neighborhood for how long have we been here?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, somewhere between 10 and 12 days. And Emery, being the badass entrepreneur that she is, has decided almost a week ago, more than that she, as soon as we arrived, she said, what did you say? I'd like to walk dogs. And then you asked Daddy, you said, I'd like to walk dogs. And I said to you, well, you'll need some customers. And I said, what would be a good way of getting customers around the neighborhood for you to walk dogs? And what idea did you come up with?
A flyer.
And who made that flyer?
Me.
Okay. So if you want to, can you hold that flyer up here just a little bit?
Can you hold these?
Yeah, I'll hold those. And just hold it up. And let me read that. So that says, Emery's Dog Walking Company. 2 dogs max, $5 per dog, no vicious dogs. To book an appointment, and there's Mummy's cell phone number. So well done with the direct response marketing. So what do you do most days after school now?
I go on my bike and pet dogs.
And you pet dogs, but what do you do with the flyers?
Print them out.
And you have to print them off first, right? So how many do you print off every afternoon after school?
15 to 20.
15 to 20 flyers. And what do you do with those flyers?
I put them under people's doormats.
So under people's doormats. At first you were putting them other places, but the best place is the doormat. Why is the doormat the best place?
So it won't blow away and they'll almost step on it right when they're coming in the door.
They'll almost step on it. Can't miss marketing. And we had one lady send Mummy a text the other night. And did you get a chance to read that message? The message was from one of our neighbors commending you on your entrepreneurship and saying that even though they didn't have a dog, she was going to spread the word that you had indeed a dog walking company. So we have what are we going to be doing with these?
Handing them out and putting them under doors.
Okay, so I'm with you today because you've done all the streets around here, and if I don't go with you, you don't know how to what?
Huh?
You don't know how to get back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you brought your dad with you today. So I'm going to hand these back to you. Now, have you done these streets?
I've done these streets.
Okay, so we're gonna walk up here a lot further.
I did a lot of streets when you were doing ballroom dancing.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was doing ballroom dancing, if you can believe it or not. Yours, Relentless, was doing, yeah, don't laugh at that. At the club we just walked by in our neighborhood, there was a ballroom dancing lesson for residents last week. And Krista had shown interest in the ballroom dancing, and I sucked it up and did what?
Ballroom dancing.
Ballroom dancing. Sometimes we got to do things that are out of our comfort zone. So Daddy headed up there last week one night after school, and Mummy and I enjoyed an hour of ballroom dancing lessons. Do you think Daddy's a good ballroom dancer?
I don't know.
I don't know, but Mummy enjoys it, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll stick to the tennis and the golf and the swimming and the gym. So now what's the plan here? So we've been talking about data. 1% to 5% in direct mail is world class. So what I mean is, if you're sending flyers, if any of the men watching this, businessmen, entrepreneurs, as far as direct mail goes, if you're sending flyers like Emery is. Let's say you're sending them in the mail, flyers, postcards, sales letters, anywhere from 1 to 5% is world class. If you're getting 4 or 5% response to any direct mail, that's world class. You just need to mail more. So I told you, Emery, the other day, I said, you need to hand out how many of these every day after school?
15 to 20.
So if you're doing 20 a day and 5% of 20 is you can expect, you can expect a call every, what, how many flyers? 1 or 2 calls every 20 flyers, right?
Wait, how many?
Especially when you're handing them door to door. So 10. So every 20 flyers that you have, you can expect 1 phone call. That's a nice 5% plus response. So, and the other thing that's exciting is we were talking about, if you get a customer out of this, let's say you get a customer out of every 20 or 30 flyers that you hand deliver, that's not just a one-time transaction, is it? You can walk their dog, what? Many times. And there's other things that you could probably do. You could upsell them on dog sitting. Maybe they need to go away for a couple hours. They don't want to leave their dog alone. There's lots of things that you can do to upsell. But 5% is the goal with direct mail. Anything 5%, 4%, 3% is a home run in terms of response. I used to send 500 flyers in the insurance business a week. Then I got up to 10,000 flyers a week through the post office. And when I sold McLean Insurance, I was at 120,000 plus flyers, maybe as high as 125,000 flyers per month. And we were around the 4%, 3%, sometimes home run 5%. So that explains how we used to have 340 phone calls, live phone calls per day into the agency. About 50% of those phone calls were prospects, new leads, people calling in to get their insurance quoted. So what else can you tell the guys? You've been here for 10, 12 days. What's something else that you want to do in terms of YouTube?
An art channel.
Why have you chosen to do a YouTube art channel?
Because I love art and I'm really good at it.
Yeah, if you want to do something in business, it certainly helps if you have what? Passion for it, and obsession. And then passion and obsession aren't just enough, are they? What else do you have to do? You have to work at it every single day, right? You got to develop the skill. So you shot a video the other day, and we're going to design this YouTube channel over the next few months here. But who are you going to teach? Is it going to be old people, young people? Who's going to watch your videos? Who do you hope watches your videos?
Kids.
Okay, and they're kids who are wanting to learn the skill of what?
Art.
Okay, so that's who you're going to shoot your videos for. Now, do you want to tell the guys about your third thing that you came up with? Is you and I did a brainstorm at the kitchen table 2 nights ago, and we were talking about our brand new lemonade stand. Can you tell the men about our lemonade stand vision?
We're going to have a free lemonade stand with a huge tip jar, so they'll be attracted to the free, and they might give a tip for good service.
Okay, so where are we going to set up this lemonade stand in our community?
On the first stop sign, so everyone who comes in the community passes it if they go in or out.
So Daddy calls that putting yourself in the river. If there's rivers of money flowing everywhere. There's an abundance of wealth in America and in Canada. So it's about getting in front of the rivers of money, standing in the rivers of money. And that stop sign is like standing in rivers of money because that's where all what? Everybody has to what?
Everybody has to stop.
Everybody has to stop there, because that's where is that? That's at the front gates. So everybody coming home from work, what time of day would be best for a lemonade stand?
Right after school, when everyone's coming home from work and school.
We're gonna shoot for 4 o'clock, 4 to 5:30, maybe an hour and a half. Now, like the great Gary Halbert said, if we could have one thing when it came to our lemonade stand, I'll ask the guys this question. If you could have one advantage over everybody else with a lemonade stand in the world, what would your advantage be? And I know some of the men watching this would say location. Some of the guys will say the best lemonade. Let's go this way. Okay, you're the marketer. Some of the guys will say, well, I would like the best lemonade. I'd like the best location. I'd like whatever, the best name, the best signs. But you know what Daddy wants as my secret? If I have one advantage, if I can be given one advantage for this lemonade, guess what I want? A thirsty crowd. That's the old Gary Halbert. If he had a restaurant, the number one thing he would want wouldn't be location, wouldn't be the best food, wouldn't be the best staff, wouldn't be the best location. Halbert said if he had a restaurant, the number one advantage he would want? A starving crowd. So at 4:30 at night, people coming home from work after a hot Florida day, what do you think we're gonna have?
Lemonade!
A thirsty crowd. That's the unfair advantage that I would want. So I think we've got that. So with our lemonade stand, instead of charging, what would we normally charge for a glass of lemonade? You've done these before. What did you normally charge back home for a glass of lemonade? $2 for a glass of lemonade, and you always have an upsell. What was your upsell?
Cookies.
And how would you say that? So if I said I'll have a glass of lemonade, what would your upsell? What would you say to me?
Would you also like a cookie?
Okay, you bought a cup. You'd always say, would you also like a cup cookie? So about 30% of people will take an upsell. I think in your case, more than 40 or maybe up to 50%. How many people took a cookie? Half your people, a quarter of the people?
Half.
About half. Okay, that's a good number. And then how much was it for the glass of lemonade and a cookie? What did you charge for that?
Nothing?
No, it was $2.
I would.
Okay, so wasn't it $5 if they took a cookie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's $2 or with the upsell, $5.
But this is free.
Yes, so why did we decide this time to say, okay, we're gonna, instead of having a sign that says $2 or $5 for lemonade, go ahead and run those up. I'll just walk along here. So we did this brainstorming at the table. Good afternoon. If just put them under the mat, sweetheart, way up at the door. Thank you. Belly to belly, so important. Toe to toe, eye to eye. The rejection is part of the process. The excitement of right up on the door, underneath the mat. Also, you know, that 5% victory, 95% no, 5% yes. And then when they get that yes, getting them to fall in love with that adrenaline of the yes. But man, the real lesson here is pushing towards no means not now. No means not now. That's it. Good afternoon. So, and the door-to-door experience, no hiding online, no texting, no emailing, no Facebook posts. They said, you know, you can put a post on Facebook here for your dog walking company, which we will, but that's not the foundation of a grassroots company. She wants to get like 2 or 3 or 4 families customers where she can walk dogs and make a little bit of money. And so, I mean, nothing is more powerful than door to door with a simple flyer. And getting her to design this flyer the direct response way, where she has a headline, she has a call to action, she has the phone number. It's in like child's art, so it's eye grabbing, and we're delivering them right to the doorstep, so you know you've got deliverability. Does email do any of that? No. Does social media do any of that? No. Radio? No. Television? No. Nothing beats paper and ink right to the door. And you know, these people will come home at night. A lot of them won't even own a dog. But down here, there seems to be a large majority of people have little dogs. And she can handle that. She's got lots of experience with big dogs, so she can certainly handle walking, you know, these smaller dogs. But people come home from work at this time. Right now, it's 5 to 5. And people come home from work, they're tired. And what's the thing that they have on their doorstep is a flyer. They sit down, they read that. And if they're looking to buy time or trying to save time and energy, hey, they can call that number, and Emery is their go-to dog walker. We're talking about the lemonade stand, how we've decided to test the free concept. That's a big one that I'm going to share in a complete video, but I call that my Chicago O'Hare shoe shine story, where I gave some advice to a shoe shine expert at the Chicago airport a few years ago, and he literally, I don't know, 5x or 10x'd his business in the hour that I was there with him. We've applied that concept to to the lemonade stand that we're going to be doing next week. And if we did this dog walking flyer again, we would also use this 5x or 10x marketing principle, where instead of charging $2 for a glass of lemonade or $5 for the upsell, what we do instead is use the power of reciprocity. And I'm teaching Emery the power of reciprocity, meaning when you give something to somebody out of kindness with no expectation of return, it's they have this obligation to give back as well. And that's what.
Slow down.
Okay, you're getting tired? Okay, so how many more do we have?
1, 2, 3. Let me see. 1, 2.
Okay, that's good. We'll do those all on the way home. We're good. We'll do each house here.
Okay.
15 a day. Do you remember me talking to you about the power of reciprocity? Prosody? Do you remember that, where I said instead of charging $2 for a glass of lemonade, let's or $5 for the upsell, which is the lemonade and the cookie. What about we try the power of reciprocity, where you give somebody something for free out of kindness, and then sometimes, a lot of the times, they'll feel an obligation to do what?
Give back.
To give back, which is that's how we're hardwired. That's just the way it is. So with that, we've decided to do what with our lemonade stand? Instead of charging $2 or $5, way up to the door, you know, entrepreneurs, when they run into this kind of thing, which is rare nowadays, a businessman like yourself, an entrepreneur like you, it's such a refreshing thing to see a young person out knocking on doors, you know, using flyers, postcards, direct mail. I know when I get anybody that shows any interest or ambition at all, I'm so impressed, and I know that you're exactly the same way. People think that I'm approached all the time about, you know, mentoring young people or approached about, you know, working for me and learning. Almost never. I'm like you. I mean, the number of people that have knocked on my door with a resume in the last decade, the number of people who have contacted me or sent me a FedEx letter asking to learn, you know, my copywriting or marketing, zero. It's just sad and pathetic. The lack of ambition in society today, like, I volunteered and learned at the feet of masters in hockey, in tennis coaching. I learned, I worked for free at the feet of a marketing guru for 6 months to learn the trade, like literally willing to put in the work, regardless, to have the opportunity. And I know that Dan Kennedy talked about having one person work for him, mentorship, in all of his years. And that person was a phenomenal success. So good that he hired that person. In all my years, 31 years plus in business, all my marketing success, I can count on one hand the number of people that approached me and had the ambition to approach me and ask me to, to learn, to teach, also to work for us. My last few years at the barber shop and at the McLean Insurance, we would hardly ever get a physical resume, anybody dropping off a resume. Nobody in the last 10 years asked to see the boss, me. My dad and mom always said, when we were handing out resumes, when school was ending, to have a job for the summer, my mom and dad would always say, make sure, go ahead, and make sure you talk to the boss. Make sure you see Mrs. Jones, or make sure you see, Mr. LaFleur, like whatever it was. When you're handing out your resume, make it stand out, make it different, and make sure you're talking to the decision maker. So we would be dropped off downtown, and we would drop off like 50 resumes at 50 businesses, and we would go in the door and we would ask for the owner. We would introduce ourselves, firm handshake, eye contact, and make an impression. My mom and dad always make an impression, make them remember you out of a pile of resumes. And this was pre-internet, but now today, more important than ever, if a person wants to stand out, let's say you're applying at a law office or an accounting office or a fine dining restaurant, or maybe you want to work at a vet clinic, whatever it is, man, oh man. Let's go across into the sunshine, sweetheart. Look both ways. Okay, here we go. You want to stand out of the crowd. It's not hard. Knock on the door, introduce yourself, get your kids and grandkids doing the same thing. A physical resume on one page, and standing out from the crowd. Belly to belly, eye to eye, toe to toe. So we're going to take off. We're almost home here. I just want to share that yes, the entrepreneurial spirit in Canada and in America is alive and well. And yes, there are amazing young people out there. And yes, there are parents teaching their children entrepreneurship and grandparents teaching entrepreneurship. We've been here for less than 2 weeks, and Emery on her own. These were your own ideas, weren't they?
Yes,
They were her own ideas. I clap for what she wants to do. I don't force her into a box. I don't force her into doing things that I want to do or I didn't accomplish in my life. I don't make my life hers, but I clap for the fundamentals, character, integrity. I clap for ambition. I clap it up for compassion and all those things that are important. So we're just about to head home. So we will be leaving you. Or I just wanted to show you that when we moved to Naples, I said, you know what? We're going to actually, I think there's more dogs over here, sweetheart. So look both ways. I said that we feel so incredibly blessed to be welcomed here in the United States of America, that we weren't just going to come here and take. We're builders, and we believe in abundance. So when we get here, we're going to help as many people. We're going to give certainly more than we take. So there's so much incredible wealth and abundance and opportunities here where we are in Florida, that it's important that we have that mindset that we're going to give more than we take. And Emery's going to build her little business here. She's going to serve this community as a dog walker. Also, I'm serving as much as I can in this community through my consulting and coaching. Krista is already setting up mindfulness and yoga and meditation at our club here. It's going to be free to those who are looking to reduce stress and anxiety and worry in their lives. She's looking at putting a program together at no cost in this community at the community center. She already has the space picked out. So just little tiny things that we can do to serve our community and give back to this country, give back to this state, give back to this city, and make sure that Emery understands that it's important to always give more than you take. We have big dreams and goals, don't you? But you also are always giving back and serving other people. All right, under the mat, right? We were talking about upsells last night about the lemonade stand, and I was talking to her about the power of upsells. People will take 30%. 30% of the people will take the upsell, right? So if you sell a cup of lemonade, you're going to have 30%. If you're no good at all, you're going to have 30% of people take the cookie or whatever you're offering, right? So you can be lousy, but if you ask, if you open your trap, then you're going to get 30%. You're going to bump your sales by 30 points. If you're good, you can get it up to 50%. But I said to Emery, I said, "What's your upsell?" She said, "Cookies. We're going to buy some cookies at the supermarket and sell. So everything will be $5. The law of here. Let's go, sweetheart. Just by offering it free, the chances are she's going to do much better than she would with $5 or $2. Back to that story. So with the law of reciprocity, we talked about how people with the tip jar will do what? You have an opportunity where with tips you might make even more what?
Money.
You might make even more money. So maybe you get $2 if you charge, but you might make more money. There'll be the odd person who just takes the lemonade. That's part of life. But most people are super generous, and most people will leave a nice tip, right? So you could end up making more money like the shoe shine guy did at the airport by offering free, fast lemonade. It's just getting those mental calluses, to get them in there and put the flyer on the doorstep, and not to have any fear of no. Like, no is winning. Failure is winning. It just smartens us up and to become better, but it's not something to be feared. It's not something to be scared of. It's just like no means not now. No me. Okay, well, let's hit these two houses here. And tomorrow we'll do another 20 flyers until we've done the whole neighborhood. And that's a good job, by the way, sweetheart. Okay, that one and the next one. And I'll give you the story a little later in another video. The law of reciprocity with the shoe shine guy in the Chicago airport. That is a big one. But for now, just remember, nothing beats direct mail. Nothing beats belly-to-belly, toe-to-toe sales. And when you're selling, what's your upsell? What's your upsell number one, and what's your upsell number two? That's the final thing is, when we talked about an upsell, go ahead and do that one. We talked about an upsell. I said, what's going to be your upsell with the lemonade? With the lemonade, she said cookies. Okay, that brings it to $5. I said, what could be a second upsell? And she's clever. She said, dog walking. I said, okay, so we're going to be sitting there at our lemonade stand, and you're going to see people pull up, and they're going to have lemonade, and they're going to ask for a cookie or not a cookie. And then what did I say we could do at the lemonade stand? We could also promote what?
My dog walking company.
Right, and you would ask the people in their car when they're drinking lemonade, and what would you ask them?
Do you have a dog?
And if they say yes, what would you hand them?
My flyer.
Your flyer. And if they said, no, I don't have a dog, what would you say?
Okay, thank you.
And enjoy your lemonade. So there's a second one, communicating between the two businesses. So those are good questions for all of us. Let's cross here, sweetheart. Hold my hand. And those are good questions to ask as business owners. What's this? What are we selling? And secondly, what's the first upsell and what's the second upsell? 30% will take the first upsell, and something like 20% will take the second upsell. And that's how you make your math numbers work. That's how you pay for flyers. That's how you pay for postcards. That's how you pay for TV, pay for radio, and you're literally buying high-end clients.
Daddy, we should go the other way, it's faster.
Okay, we'll go the other way, it's faster. If you don't have a copy of my book, you can grab a physical paper and ink copy this way, sweetheart, at nobullbook.com. That's nobullbook.com. I'll send you one of these badass hashtag t-shirts with it as a free gift. The book is at nobullbook.com. There'll be 2 upsells on that site as well. And regardless, when you buy the book, I'll ship it to you the next day, and you'll get one of these free t-shirts. Secondly, if you're looking to take your life to the next level, be joined at the hip with other elite men and husbands and badass entrepreneurs, plus get one-on-one coaching with me throughout the year, your seat is available at World Builders, my world building mastermind. Go to badassworldbuilders.com. That's badassworldbuilders.com. Hello. And reserve your seat, apply. And I have 2 spots left for this month. You can hop in, and that is our 12-month World Builders Mastermind. Badassworldbuilders.com. That is my full year mastermind. Okay.
The owl.
Look at the owls, right? I wonder who he's there to keep away. Beautiful. Okay, until tomorrow, 2 words that change my life and 2 words that change what? Your life.
Be relentless.
Be relentless.